Part 1. Unexplained exhaustion. Unexplained exhaustion, one of the most ignored and potentially most dangerous signs of a spiritual attack. We're not talking about classic fatigue, the kind that comes after a bad night's sleep, a hard day's work, or an intense workout. Spiritual exhaustion is different. It's persistent, deep, seemingly without a clear origin, and even with physical rest, it doesn't go away. Imagine waking up feeling your body heavy as lead, your thoughts sluggish as if a fog were hovering over your mind. The alarm clock rings and everything seems more difficult and inexplicable. Instead of renewed energy, there's a desire to remain still, almost as if the world itself has lost its luster. This feeling can last for weeks, months, and often intensifies after periods of emotional crisis, grief, separations, or situations of heightened spiritual vulnerability. In Brazilian folk tradition, it is said that the body carries the weight of the soul. In the East, monks and Tai Chi masters attribute this exhaustion to the poor circulation of vital energy, Qi. Numerous cultures, from indigenous shamans to European mysticism, report the phenomenon: loss of vitality, apathy, feelings of emptiness. What science calls burnout, melancholy, or depression can, from a spiritual perspective, reveal a weakened energy field or even one attacked by dense energies. Let's understand together the mechanisms of spiritual exhaustion and how to recognize if this symptom goes beyond the physical. What causes spiritual exhaustion? There are several possible causes. The first, and one of the most common, is so-called energetic vampirism. People, environments, and situations can drain our life force without us even realizing it. Dealing daily with negative individuals, toxic work environments, excessive pressure, and recurring conflicts creates gaps in our energy field. In these situations, we create doors for fatigue to become a constant. Another reason is contact with invisible energies. Obsessives, negative thought forms, accumulated anger around us, deep hurts, and charged environments. Who hasn't entered a place and immediately left with a headache or discouragement? You may not realize it, but every time you feel this thud after exchanging ideas with someone, visiting certain places, or even consuming some news, your spiritual field is being affected. Some traditions explain that old, untreated traumas create fissures in the aura. This type of energetic wound makes a person vulnerable to attack. The result: exhaustion, discouragement, prostration, and emptiness. Deep signals: the body speaks. The body never lies. Common signs of spiritual exhaustion include feeling of heaviness in the shoulders and back even without physical effort, frequent headaches, mental fogginess, heavy eyes, unexplained daytime sleepiness, lack of appetite or sudden craving for high-calorie or sweet foods, sudden mood swings, from enthusiasm to apathy in hours, lack of desire for previously pleasurable activities, insomnia even when exhausted, or excessive sleep without feeling refreshed. In psychology, we would say that the environment influences mood and disposition. But energetically, each of these sensations can indicate a spiritual attack or blockage. Stories that illuminate. Let's look at the real-life stories. Maria, a 38-year-old nurse, began experiencing chronic fatigue after her father's death. She consulted dozens of doctors and underwent numerous tests, but everything was normal. She went to a spiritualist center at her mother's suggestion. There, in conversation with a medium, she heard, "Your sadness has opened doors to dense energies. It's time to take care of your soul." Maria began spiritual treatment, energetic healing passes, daily prayers, and herbal baths. Within 2 weeks, she felt relief. The fatigue disappeared like magic, she reports. Cases like Maria's are common and show that the true origin of exhaustion often lies in the soul. Another story: João, a college student, noticed that every time he returned from the house of a very pessimistic friend, he felt drained. He began avoiding meetings and praying before and after these encounters. He noticed that he regained energy and maintained his focus on his studies. Mythology and popular culture. Energy vampires are present in Russian and Asian folklore. In indigenous tribes, sorcerers limit contact with melancholic people, and in African cultures, blessings cleanse the aura of envy and the evil eye. These accounts show that, since ancient times, unexplained exhaustion has been seen as a spiritual problem. Ancient peoples performed collective smudging, used amulets, stones, necklaces, symbols, and created sacred spaces for energy replenishment. Vibrational medicine, Reiki, the use of crystals, and aromatherapy have brought this knowledge to the modern world. What does science say? Recent studies show that negative emotions can lead to a drop in dopamine and serotonin levels, hormones associated with pleasure and motivation. But there's more to it. Experiments with people who practice prayer, meditation, and contact with nature reveal greater vitality, less fatigue, and even a reduction in chronic pain. The body is impacted by emotions, yes, but it also responds to spiritual harmonization. The field of psychoneuroimmunology already recognizes that thoughts and beliefs influence physical health. Imagine the impact of external energies, invisible to the eye but perceptible to the body. Energy recovery. Let's practice together. 1. Sit or lie down comfortably. Close your eyes. 2. Inhale for a count of 7, hold for 4 seconds, and exhale for 8. Repeat 5 times. 3. Visualize a white light descending from the top of your head, filling your face first, then your chest, arms, stomach, legs, and feet. 4. Imagine all the weights, hurts, pains, worries dissolving into the light. 5. Visualize, I am protected. My vital energy is renewed. No negative forces remain in my field. After this practice, drink a glass of water slowly, giving thanks for each sip. Energy bath ritual. Coarse salt bath. Prepare a mixture of coarse salt, a few drops of essential oil, rosemary, lavender, or eucalyptus, and warm water. From the neck down, let the water drain, visualizing all heavy vibrations going down the drain. Dry yourself gently and wear light clothing. End with a prayer, I am cleansed, strengthened, and protected by divine light. Deep reflections and self-analysis. Ask yourself, what recent events have made me more vulnerable and tired? Who are the people or environments that always drain me? How can I protect myself emotionally and spiritually from these situations? What spiritual exercise have I never tried that I can try today? Write down your answers. They can serve as a starting point for your transformation. Energy vampirism. Closed spaces, limited sunlight, excessive electronic devices, and the constant presence of negative people. All of these things can cause our vibrational field to shrink. Learn to identify signs in your environment, feelings of cold, sudden heat, chills, tingling, and move away whenever possible. Practical. Weekly smudging with Palo Santo or sage. Collective meditation or remote Reiki. Vibrational diet. Fresh fruit, plenty of water, avoid highly processed foods. Inspirational quotes. Health is not just the absence of disease, but the presence of vital energy. Deepak Chopra. A tired soul finds no joy in the body or in the world. Take care of it first and everything is renewed. Ancient energy replacement techniques. Try it. Reiki. Apply your hands to painful or tired areas. Imagine your hands radiating light. Spiritual pass. Look for institutions or groups that offer energetic blessings. Meditation with mantras. Use the sound OM to harmonize your vibration. Community engagement. Invite. Share your stories of spiritual exhaustion in the comments. Exchange tips on rituals, practices, books, and music that help you become stronger. Leave questions. In future videos I can answer questions and bring new practices. Conclusion of Part 1. Spiritual fatigue is an invitation to look beyond matter, seek light, break negative patterns, and care for your energy field as you would your own heart. Practice the suggestions, create a protected environment around you, and remember, strengthening your soul is the first step to overcoming any invisible attack. If this content resonated with you, subscribe, share, and comment. Recharging my energy. Together we strengthen a chain of protection and light. Part 2. Disturbing nightmares. When night falls, it's not just silence that sets in. Many feel the weight of the unknown, the echo of their own fears in the shadows of their room, their dreams transforming into invisible battles. In the spiritual universe, a nightmare is much more than a simple sleep disturbance. It is a manifestation, a warning, and even a portal of communication between subtle dimensions. How can you tell a bad dream from a true spiritual sign? A recurring nightmare, the one that wakes you up startled, gasping for breath, with a racing heart and a feeling of paralysis, is pointing to something beyond the psychological. It's as if the unconscious, allied with the spiritual plane, is trying to draw your consciousness into a war you ignore during the day, the war for possession of your energy. What are spiritual nightmares? In the shamanic tradition, dreams are seen as journeys. Ancestral spirits say that during sleep, the soul partially detaches itself from the body to experience, learn, and even confront. When we are weakened by sadness, imbalance, stress, anger, fear, we open internal portals. This is when nightmares arise, chases, endless falls, feelings of suffocation, a choked voice, monsters, and threatening figures. They are not punishments but indicators of what needs to be faced and healed. Norse mythology speaks of nightmares riders, shadowy beings who ride during sleep to test the strength of the spirits of the living. Native Americans use dream catchers to protect their children and adults from spiritual attacks while they rest. Tibetan monks pray before bed, asking invisible guardians to keep unenlightened energies away from their beds. Real experiences. It's striking to realize how many people, when sharing their spiritual experiences, speak of recurring nightmares that mark difficult phases in their lives. One listener from our community, Lidisha, shared, "After my mother passed away, I began dreaming every night about a dark hallway. I ran but never reached the end. Sometimes I felt something pulling at my legs. It was frightening. When I spoke to an energy therapist, he explained that I was trying to escape the energies of grief, which needed to be acknowledged in order to be released." Another statement from Raphael. "I spent months seeing a shadow standing in the corner of my room while I slept. I always woke up tired and with chills as if I'd been fighting all night. It was only after I began protective practices, salt baths, prayer, incense, that these dreams began to disappear. Today, if I dream of these figures, I face them and visualize light. Inner strength changes everything." Stories like these show that, for many people, wandering through the universe of dreams is also touching the world of hidden energies. Psychology of nightmares. Science recognizes that dreams are a reinterpretation of what we experience, feel, and think. What few people know is that even in the psychological field, abnormal dreams are recorded during periods of energetic imbalance. Sleepwalking, sleep paralysis, vivid and repetitive nightmares. These are correlated with high levels of anxiety, depression, and energetic disorders such as chronic insomnia. Studies on sleep paralysis, that sensation of being awake but unable to move, often accompanied by an oppressive presence, are popular in psychiatry. However, in spirituality, it is often understood as a moment when the spirit is under attack by a negative energy or entity, attempting to drain or influence the vibrational field. Spiritual signs of nightmare. How do you know if your nightmare is just a reflection of your emotions or a true spiritual sign? Consider. Repetition. The same dream happens several times with frightening or recurring details. Physical sensation. Waking up with sweat, palpitations, cold, or a feeling of suffocation. Symbolic elements. Dreaming about falling, escaping, dead-end labyrinths, threatening beings, abandoned places, absent voices. Soundless voice. Trying to scream and not being able to, feeling of paralysis. Dark presence. Sensation of observation or a figure standing in the room, even when waking up. If you identify with two or more of these signs, pay attention. Your energy field may be under spiritual influence. Practical recommendations for protection. Before bed, take a relaxing bath, add a few drops of lavender or rosemary essential oil. Take a deep breath, give thanks for the day, and ask for protection out loud. Prayer or affirmation. May my dreams be protected by the power of divine light. No dark energy has power over me or my night. I am strengthened by the presence of my spiritual guides and guardians. Crystals. Place a crystal such as amethyst or black tourmaline under your pillow. They help filter dense energies and induce lighter dreams. Dream catcher. Hang a dream catcher above your bed. According to indigenous traditions, it separates nightmares from positive energy, ensuring a peaceful sleep. Fluidified water. Leave a glass of water next to your bed. When you wake up, throw the water away, imagining that it has absorbed everything that doesn't belong to you. Dream cleaning. 1. Sit on your bed, close your eyes, and breathe slowly. Imagine a pale blue light filling the room. 2. Visualize all the fears of the day dissolving in this light. Say softly, "My night will be one of peace and healing. I will dream as my soul needs to learn, but I will wake renewed." 3. Before going to sleep, write down any worries you have on a piece of paper. Leave it by your bed and reflect. Everything I need to learn, I accept with courage. Every fear will be transformed into a learning experience. 4. When you wake up, read the paper and give thanks for the freedom from worries. Mythology and symbolism of nightmares. In ancient Greece, the god Morpheus ruled the world of dreams, and his brother Phobos was responsible for nightmares. Eastern peoples believe that bad dreams are warnings, that something is wrong with the spirit, thoughts, or environment. In shamanism, the healing dream is sought through deep meditation, the use of herbs, and nocturnal rituals. Buddhist monks repeat mantras before falling asleep, Om Mani Padme Hum, to purify the subconscious. Share your most recurring nightmares and how you feel when you wake up in the comments. What practices help you sleep better? Have you tried protection prayers or crystals? Share your tips for those who suffer from dark dreams. At what stage of your life did you have the most nightmares? How does your nighttime environment, light, objects, temperature, affect the quality of your sleep? Have you ever felt a presence in the room during sleep paralysis? Book, music, and movie recommendations. Books: The Book of Dreams, by Zibia Gasparetto. Lucid Dreams, by Charlie Morley. Songs: Dreams, Fleetwood Mac, playlist of binaural beats for deep sleep. Films: Inception, to reflect on layers of dreams and the unconscious. Night protection ritual. 1. Cleanse the bedroom environment with incense or a candle before going to sleep. 2. Pray or meditate for 5 minutes, imagining a sphere of light surrounding your bed. 3. Affirm, no dense energy invades my rest. I am light, I am protected. 4. Thank your spirit guides and surrender your worries to the universe. Conclusion of Part 2. Nightmares aren't just torments, they can be warnings, opportunities for healing, and doors of understanding between you and your soul. Facing the fears of dreams strengthens you for the challenges of the day. Practice the techniques, share your experience, and realize the night can also be a source of light. Comment, "Protected Night," and share this video with anyone who needs a peaceful night's sleep. Part 3. Sudden conflicts in relationships. Human beings are made of connections. We are threads of energy crisscrossing environments: family, friends, colleagues, lovers, strangers. Each relationship is a channel, a source of light, or a source of exhaustion. And in times of spiritual attack, even the strongest bonds seem to suddenly crumble for no apparent reason. What are spiritual conflicts? Spiritual conflict is one that appears suddenly, without rational explanation. The relationship was fine, and the next moment a disagreement erupts out of nowhere. Silly arguments turn into intense arguments, close people drift apart, even previously harmonious environments suddenly feel tense. It's when you realize that apologizing isn't enough. Nothing seems to resolve the tension. From a spiritual perspective, this happens because dense energies, often external, exploit the emotional gaps in our field to sow discord, whether through envy, the evil eye, jealousy, or even the more direct action of obsessors. Accounts in spiritualism, Umbanda, ancestral traditions, and even religions such as Judaism and Islam speak of the influence of spirits of confusion that stalk homes and communities. Why do spiritual attacks affect relationships? The energetic attack primarily seeks to weaken your field, undermining your reserves, your self-confidence, and most importantly, your support system. When your relationships become conflicted, you feel increasingly isolated, vulnerable, and powerless to react. Isolation is fertile ground for negative forces to amplify suffering. Notice if, during periods of greater discouragement or sadness, conflicts at home or at work increase. Often, without realizing it, you may be reproducing vibrations picked up from the environment, or receiving unconscious projections of others' pain. When relationships fall apart. Story 1. The Cycle of Grief. In my family, we've always been very close. But after I became unemployed, I began to notice constant disagreements. Small criticisms turned into insults. I felt like everyone was against me. It was only after a healing circle conversation that we discovered there was an energy of envy circulating, linked to past histories. We performed a cleansing with prayers and herbal baths. Gradually, the conflicts diminished and the welcoming returned. Story 2. The Sudden Departure. When I entered college, I met an incredible group of friends. But suddenly, baseless gossip began, doors closed, and I felt left out. During a spiritual consultation, I discovered that someone close to me was experiencing intense jealousy. I began praying for group harmony and using protection, visualizing everyone surrounded by blue light. The insult stopped and I found support again. These accounts exemplify how spiritual attack acts in the microcosm of human relationships and how simple practices help to neutralize negative energies. Daily practices to shield your relationships. 1. Prayer for family harmony ***. Every day when you wake up, mentally wish, "May my home be a home of peace, may my family be protected, may all differences be dissolved by love." 2. Glass of water ritual ***. Place a glass of water in the main room, visualize golden light, and ask it to absorb all the heavy energy in the room. Change it daily. 3. Letters of forgiveness ***. Write sincere letters even if you don't deliver them. Express your hurt, disappointment, and pain, and end with words of forgiveness and a sincere desire for healing for yourself and the other person. 4. Energy Ponopono ***. Repeat the sequence: "I'm sorry. Forgive me. I love you. I'm grateful." Say this to each person with whom you feel friction or distance. 5. Home smudging ***. Once a week, smudge every room with rosemary, rue, or sage, especially those where there is conflict. Finally, give thanks for the purification. 6. Concrete acts of reconciliation ***. Invite someone to chat, offer a kind gesture, send positive messages, or even a simple good morning. Small gestures open doors and dissolve tension. The most common signs of relationship attacks. Discussions without logical reason. Feeling of injustice, excessive criticism. Isolation and sudden separation from close people. Heavy atmosphere, feeling of cold or oppression at home or at work. Gossip, misunderstandings and manipulations that come out of nowhere. Lack of communication, prolonged silence, judgmental looks. Warning: if all these signs appear at once, check your vibration. It's possible the attack is targeted, not random. Psychology and spirituality of conflict. Social psychology shows that, in times of crisis, emotions like fear, insecurity, and low self-esteem amplify raw responses, generating arguments. Spirituality deepens this. In these moments, the auric field is vulnerable, capturing external vibrations, opening the way for negative influences. Spiritual masters suggest practices of silence, prayer, and self-analysis during times of conflict. Silence breaks automatic patterns, prayer rebalances the soul, and self-analysis heals the spiritual wounds that fuel repeated arguments. Guided meditation for healing relationships. 1. Sit in a quiet place. 2. Imagine the person with whom you have conflict in front of you or a group. 3. Visualize a ball of blue-green light surrounding everyone. 4. Say mentally, "I forgive what hurts me and you. May peace prevail." 5. Remain silent, feeling the tension ease. Practice daily until you feel relief. Often, I don't need the other person's physical presence. The vibration does the work. Write in the comments: is there someone who has caused you pain or disappointment but you would like to reconcile? What peace technique have you used that really worked in your life? Share a difficult experience you overcame, helping others understand that rebuilding is possible. Mythology, folklore, and rituals. In African mythology, bead-washing rituals, Igbo, are performed to heal broken ties and pray for ancestral family harmony. Indigenous peoples seal peace by lighting bonfires and dancing in circles. In Christianity, the embrace of forgiveness is celebrated as a rediscovery of divine grace. In Spiritism, weekly meetings for evangelization and energetic healings alleviate accumulated burdens, bringing balance to homes and relationships. The important thing is to never harbor resentment. It corrodes the soul and opens the door to dark influences. Inspirational quotes. The family is the first circle of spiritual protection. Chico Xavier. Only love transforms hostility into blessing and conflict into peace. Dalai Lama. For every tear shed in a fight, 2 seeds of healing can be planted. Rubem Alves. Protection for relationships. Practice self-observation. Notice if you repeat behaviors from your past or those of your parents/grandparents. Break cycles of pain. In toxic environments, use protective accessories. Tiger's eye bracelet, protective metals, crystals, and shared environments. Avoid feeding gossip, judgments, and criticism. Low vibration only perpetuates the cycle of attack. Home harmony ritual. Perform a weekly spiritual cleansing with holy water or a mixture of salt and flowers. Affirm every day, "My home is a space of fulfillment, peace and healing. Place protective symbols, cross, dream catcher, lit candles, in prominent places. Conclusion of Part 3. Conflicts don't have to be the end of a cycle. They're a call to evolution, self-knowledge, and reconnection with your essence and with others. You have the power to transmute pain into healing, loneliness into strength. Practice rituals, prayers, and sincere listening. Comment "healed relationship" in the comments and strengthen the bond with this chain of peace and protection. Part 4. Sudden blocks in life. Sudden blockages. When doors close, paths evaporate, and every plan, no matter how well structured, seems to crumble before your eyes. In the spiritual universe, we rarely face chance. Blockages are often signs, invitations to change course, tests of faith, and often, invisible tools of protection. What are spiritual blocks? Spiritual blockage occurs when, suddenly and inexplicably, projects fail to prosper, opportunities disappear, people disappear, businesses stall, and dreams are interrupted without any discernible logical reason. You may feel like you're living under some kind of hidden force, as if you were in a labyrinth whose walls are constantly shifting. Ancient traditions call this closing of paths. In Africa, it's known as travavida. In Candomblé, breaking energy. In the Andes, destiny's evil. Spiritism speaks of tests of the spirit, where obstacles arise to polish learning and strengthen the inner light. Why do spiritual blockages occur? The reasons are diverse. They may include protection. The universe blocks something that would bring harm even if you don't realize it at the time. Spiritual test. Difficult phase for maturation, refinement of faith, learning about detachment. Direct attack. Negative forces, envy or dense thoughts from third parties prevent you from growing. Internal pattern. Limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, unconscious fears project a blocked reality. In all cases, blockages require more than physical action. They require in-depth investigation, cleansing and energy replenishment practices, and above all, the courage to accept changes of course. Real stories. Story 1. The Stuck Company. I started my business full of ideas, clients were pouring in, everything was flowing smoothly. Suddenly, I lost contracts, suppliers disappeared, my name was involved in misunderstandings. I spent months trying to understand. I only got better when I sought spiritual help. I discovered that a former partner was wishing me failure. I did a series of protective baths, prayers, and focused on golden light over my projects. Within a few weeks, new doors began to open. Story 2. The Emotional Block. I moved to another city in search of new opportunities. For months, I couldn't find a job, friends, or peace. I spoke with a local healer who explained that I needed to ritualize the closing of the old phase and ask the earth for permission to flourish there. I performed a ritual of gratitude to my previous life and planted a sapling in honor of the transition. A week later, I was called for my dream job. Blockages are not just obstacles. They are also invitations to start a new cycle. Ambient energy enclosures. Heavy environments, old objects, painful memories, unfinished contracts. Anything can hold you back. Take a sincere look. What in your home, workplace, or social circle might be vibrating with heavy energy? Accumulation of papers, clothes from difficult times, gifts from people you broke up with, all of this can be a channel of blockage. Excess of inactive electronics, artificial light without ventilation or nature, pollutes the vibrational field. Reorganize, donate, recycle. Every time we free up physical space, we also clear spiritual space. Spiritual practices to break through blockages. Ritual of opening the paths *. 1. One morning, light a white candle and cinnamon or rosemary incense. 2. Write down on a piece of paper everything you want to unlock. Work, prosperity, health, relationships. 3. Visualize blue or golden light arriving and dissolving each obstacle. 4. Say out loud, I accept the doors that the universe opens for me. All blocking energy is now dissolved. 5. Finally, burn the paper carefully, or tear it up and throw it into running water. Energy cleansing bath *. Bath with coarse salt plus bay leaves from the neck down after the ritual. When you finish, give thanks. I am free and blessed in my journey. Unlocking prayer *. Creator God, let all blocked energy dissolve before my faith. Guide my steps, clear my fields, open my paths to what is mine by divine destiny. Gratitude. Reflections and questions for self-analysis. When did the blockage begin? Was there a loss, pain, or change that might have caused this blockage? Is there any hidden resentment? Any unworked guilt? How do you react to failure? Do you embrace the learning experience or resist, afraid to let go of old plans? What was the last cycle that you were grateful for, even though it was difficult, to make room for the new? Write down your answers. Use this diagnosis as a starting point for personal rituals. Invite the public to share. Have you ever felt your life suddenly stop for no apparent reason? What practice worked to unlock the paths? Share in the comments. Open paths to strengthen the collective. Mythology, folklore, and popular culture of blockades. Gypsy people practice the lucky key ritual. Whenever they feel blocked, they hang a key over the front door, visualizing new paths. Ancient peoples create stone circles to represent completed cycles. When they need to unlock their lives, they break the circle by lighting fireplaces or dancing around it. In Christianity, candles lit for 3 consecutive nights, with prayer and offering of ex votos, objects that symbolize requests, are used to open spiritual doors. In spiritualism, cleansing passes, collective prayers, and charitable practices help to unlock stagnant energies. Inspirational quotes. The toughest blocks are invisible portals to our transformation. Sri Prem Baba. Every cycle that ends prepares fertile ground for a new blossoming. Ana Giacomo. Where there is faith, there is no path that is closed for long. Advanced unlocking techniques. Reiki for opening paths. Receive sessions or learn how to apply it to your hands and forehead yourself. Aromatherapy. Use orange, rosemary, and lemongrass essential oils to activate movement energy. Guided meditations for accepting the new and releasing the old. Use mantras such as Om Gam Ganapate Namangha, mantra to remove obstacles. Mental exercise, visualizing the journey. Close your eyes and imagine a road ahead of you, initially blocked by rocks. Visualize your hands removing one rock at a time. Feel the satisfaction of the path opening up. Notice confidence, gratitude, and courage growing within you. When you finish, mentally say, I am free to follow, my destiny blossoms before my strength. Ritual of gratitude for the lessons of blockages. Be grateful even for failures. Before bed, write down 3 reasons to be grateful for the setbacks you've experienced, what you've learned, and how you transformed the pain. When we give thanks, we expand our energy and allow new opportunities to arise. Conclusion of Part 4. Blockages are never punishment. They are windows to new horizons, invitations to renewal, or divine protection that only make sense later. With faith, courage, and dedication to rituals and practices, doors open at the right times. Share your experience in the comments with Open Paths and inspire others to break limits. Subscribe, connect, and let spirituality guide your destiny. Part 5. Mysterious physical symptoms. At many points in life, we are surprised by pain, discomfort, and physical symptoms that defy any medical explanation. Have you ever experienced unexplained palpitations, that persistent headache that doesn't respond to medication, tingling, a feeling of pressure in your chest, sudden loss of voice, chills, tremors, allergies, forgetfulness, or even ailments that appear out of nowhere and disappear just as quickly? These can be classic symptoms of spiritual attacks manifesting in the body. The body, portal between dimensions. In spiritualism, our physical body is merely the densest layer of our existence. Behind it, several subtle bodies vibrate, emotional, mental, and spiritual. When there is an imbalance or attack in these layers, the body screams. It sends signals in the form of symptoms, alerting us to the presence of aggressive and unrecognized energies. In traditional Chinese medicine, organs and emotions are linked, e.g., liver, anger, lungs, sadness, heart, joy/anguish. In shamanism, however, every pain is a sign of an energetic blockage. Spiritism and Reiki explain that dense energies or obsessives can attach to vulnerable areas of the physical body, especially when there is emotional or spiritual neglect. How symptoms manifest. Headache/vertigo * may indicate excessive negative thinking, psychic attacks, attempts by obsessors to influence the crown or frontal chakra. Chest pressure/shortness of breath * common in heart chakra attacks. It can be accompanied by anxiety, sudden sadness, a feeling of anguish, heaviness, and even tingling in the arms. Stomach/digestive problems * deep fears, self-harm, attacks on the solar plexus. The sensation is of butterflies in the stomach, nausea, heartburn, sudden cramps. Shoulder/back pain indicates energetic overload, accumulation of resentment, energies stuck to the auric field, as if something was weighing on the back. Lack of voice, sore throat attacking the communication chakra. Occurs when you keep the truths to yourself, suffer injustices or try to speak but are unable to express yourself. Unexplained acute episodes lack of balance, dizziness, strange falls, sensation of floating, forgetfulness and memory lapses. Other symptoms palpitations, sudden arrhythmia, sudden sweating, chills, hot or cold flashes, intense sneezing in crowded environments, excessive sleepiness during the day, even after sleeping well, nightmares followed by physical pain upon waking. Reports and studies of spiritual symptoms. True story 1. The weight on the chest. Every time I entered that office, my chest would tighten, and I'd even experience shortness of breath. Doctors said it was anxiety, but it only went away after a long bath and prayer. I later discovered there was a lot of jealousy and contention in that place. I started using a rose quartz stone and doing weekly cleansings. The pressure went away. True story 2. The mysterious tingling. I worked for years in public services. I began experiencing tingling in my hands and feet, and continued sleepless nights. Orthopedists couldn't find a cause. A faith healer suggested a rue bath and a prayer for protection from my spiritual guides. I was skeptical, but I tried. Within 3 days I felt relief and slept better. Only those who experience it understand this relief. The role of chakras in physical manifestation. Crown headache, mental confusion, tinnitus. Frontal, third eye pressure in the forehead, insomnia, sensitivity to light. Throat pain, difficulty expressing, throat clearing. Cardiac tachycardia, tightness, sudden changes in mood. Solar plexus nausea, cramps, fear for no reason. Sacramental difficulty in relationships, pelvic discomfort, creative blocks. Root lower back pain, feeling of physical insecurity, restless legs. When we experience persistent symptoms in these areas and tests rule out physical causes, look to the energy drink. Spiritual practices to relieve symptoms. Salt and herb baths. Coarse salt with rue, guinea, rosemary from the neck down. Repeat, all negative energy is released now. My body is a temple of light. Energy smoking. Pass the smoke of sage, palo santo or rosemary over the chakras, focusing on the area of discomfort. When you finish, silently give thanks. I am clean and free from all influence. Fluidified water. Place a glass of water next to the bed. Morning or excessive work. How does your body respond to charged environments? Have you ever noticed physical improvement after prayer, meditation, herbal baths, or smudging? Write down your experiences in a notebook, create a body diary, observe patterns, and share them with trusted professionals, whether spiritualists or integrative physicians. Mythology, folklore, and popular beliefs. In African mythology, mysterious pains and illnesses are signs of unresolved spiritual demands. Indigenous peoples believe that the soul screams in the body until it is heard. In Christian tradition, illness of the body often reveals unconfessed or long-held ailments of the soul. Healers and healers from all cultures use simple and powerful prayers, baths, teas, leaves, and hand passes. What unexplained symptom has been bothering you lately? Have you ever tried any spiritual practices to soothe your body? Share your results. Leave the phrase, "My body is a protected temple," in the comments and help others believe in the connection between energy and health. Inspirational quotes. Illness is the cry of the soul that has not been heard. Carl Jung. The body speaks what the soul keeps silent. Monica de Castro. All physical pain is an invitation to look inward, and not just outward. Lucia Helena Galvio. Nighttime Restoration Ritual. 1. Before going to sleep, light a clear candle, give thanks for your body and ask for spiritual cleansing. 2. Say a prayer, "Thank you, body, for alerting me. May all foreign energy be returned to the universe, transmuted into light." 3. Drink a calming tea such as lemon balm or chamomile, visualizing each sip dissolving tension. 4. Take a deep breath and intend, "I wake up tomorrow clean, protected, and restored." Conclusion of Part 5. Unexplained physical symptoms are a warning from the body and soul. They signal invisible but not invincible battles. Listen to your signals, practice rituals, Take care of your energy and always share your experience. Comment, "My body is a protected temple," to strengthen this healing chain. Subscribe, share, inspire. Your body will thank you. Your soul will be reborn. Part 6. Intrusive negative thoughts. Perhaps you're familiar with that feeling. Out of nowhere, whirlwinds of pessimistic, self-sabotaging thoughts, feelings of lack of faith or hopelessness, invade your mind even when everything seems stable in the external world. Phrases like, "It won't work," "I can't do it," "Nobody likes me," "I'm going to fail," arise repeatedly, insistently, as if they have a life of their own. These are intrusive negative thoughts and can be intense symptoms of spiritual attacks. The mind, sacred and vulnerable space. According to spiritualists, our mind is the portal through which external energies attempt to enter to influence emotions, choices, and attitudes. Jung said, "What you resist persists." And in the energy field, what you allow in unfiltered can gain strength and dominate your daily emotional states. Multiple traditions suggest that obsessors, disembodied entities, or even thought forms created by living people, envy, anger, resentment, can attempt to plant ideas in the minds of vulnerable individuals. Spiritism calls this negative outbursts. In Umbanda, it's called mental attachment. In esotericism, it's called energetic implants. Psychologists recognize the phenomenon of negative automatic thoughts, fueled by limiting beliefs, childhood trauma, social pressure, and cycles of anxiety/depression. Psychoanalysis, however, suggests that recurring patterns are signs of long-standing, unresolved conflicts. How to recognize negative thoughts of spiritual origin. Thoughts arise abruptly, especially after contact with dense environments/people or in moments of emotional fragility. They don't feel like you. It's as if they came from outside, or had a tone or words that you wouldn't normally use with yourself. They are insistent, repeated several times a day, increasing during times of stress or loneliness. They generate intense emotions, fear, panic, sadness, anger, apathy without any apparent cause. They appear accompanied by other spiritual symptoms: feeling of strange gaze, chills, insomnia, financial blockages, unexplained pain. Impactful testimonials. Story 1. The cycle of self-sabotage. After a breakup, I began hearing internal voices telling me I would never be happy. With every attempt to start over, negative thoughts held me back. I sought spiritual help and discovered the influence of obsessive thoughts linked to resentment and jealousy. With prayer, mantras, and environmental renewal, the thoughts gradually subsided. Story 2. The fear that paralyzes. Even though I was experiencing a period of success, I began to have dark thoughts like, "Something bad is going to happen," or "I can't trust anyone." The more I entertained these thoughts, the more isolated I became. I joined a meditation group for mental cleansing and learned affirmation and protection exercises. Gradually, my mind cleared. How negative energies invade the mind. From a spiritual perspective, our mind is a vibrational field. The more vulnerable it is, the less protected by daily practices, and the more open it is to attacks and external influences. Thoughts of envy, gossip, competition, and fear can be projected by third parties or by the collective on social media, toxic environments, conversations about tragedies, and negative news. That's why mental hygiene is so important. Taking care of what you consume, who you hang out with, and the words you accept and repeat daily. Practices to break negative thinking cycles. 1. Prayer and affirmation ***. Repeat whenever a negative thought invades. I reject this thought, it is not mine. My mind is protected by divine light. I am capable, deserving, and loved. 2. Mind clearing meditation ***. Sit with your back straight and close your eyes. Visualize a shower of golden light falling on your head, washing away thoughts and dissolving dark clouds. Breathe deeply, and with each exhale, imagine every negative thought being sent to the universe to be transmuted into positive energy. 3. Therapeutic writing ***. Write down each recurring negative thought on a piece of paper. Then write a positive counter-affirmation. Burn the paper with the negative ones, give thanks for the learning, and keep the positive ones as personal mantras. 4. Sound frequencies ***. Listen to music or binaural beats of 432 Hz, 528 Hz, and 963 Hz, which help transmute dense mental patterns. Chant or listen to mantras like Om Mani Padme Hum or Satanama. Protection with crystals ***. Wear amethyst, clear quartz, or black tourmaline next to your body or under your pillow, focusing on the intention of filtering external energies. 6. Self-knowledge ***. Seek therapy and understand your beliefs and triggers. The more self-aware you are, the less vulnerable you become. Setting mental limits. Learn to say no internally. Whenever you feel a negative thought, visualize a luminous wall between you and that idea. Repeat this mentalization until the cycle weakens. If it persists, reinforce it with protective rituals and, if necessary, seek professional help. Psychology and energy, interface and healing. Modern psychology suggests that negative thought patterns can be interrupted with practices such as mindfulness, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, meditation, and conscious breathing. Spiritualists add, the more connected we are to faith, gratitude, forgiveness, and generosity, the less room there is for negative intrusions. Try daily. Start the day with a thank you, no matter how small. Meditate for 10 minutes. Repeat 3 positive affirmations while looking in the mirror. Mythology, folklore, and popular belief. Many cultures attribute mental difficulties to encastos, especially after episodes of anger, jealousy, envy, or contact with manipulative people. Healers recommend specific prayers: Our Father, Hail Holy Queen, the prayer to Saint Michael the Archangel, for protection against dark ideas. Indigenous peoples teach dances and songs to drive away evil thoughts. Islam recommends daily reading of the Quran. Asian peoples use mudras, hand gestures, combined with breathing. Interaction. What are the most frequent negative thoughts in your mind? What practices have you already implemented to combat these cycles? Share in the comments the motivational phrase that helped you the most. Inspire others. Inspirational quotes. We are made of my deepest thoughts. Transform them, transform life. Enrique Stutman. What we think about incessantly manifests in our destiny. Buddha. Thought is energy. Direct it toward good, and the universe responds. Chico Xavier. Mental protection ritual. 1. When you wake up, gently touch your forehead and say, "My mind is my strength. No negative energy invades me." 2. Pass an amethyst stone in circles around your head, breathing deeply and repeating the affirmation, "I am light, I am peace, I am healing." 3. Listen to or chant a mantra that connects you to the positive energy of the universe. Conclusion of Part 6. Intrusive negative thoughts aren't eternal condemnations. They're warnings of vulnerability, invitations to strengthen protection, self-knowledge, and spirituality. By practicing rituals and affirmations daily, you rebuild your mental strength and ward off any energy that tries to shake you. Share in the comments, "My mind is light," and show the community that we can all choose the thoughts that guide us. Subscribe and be an example of protection and good cheer. Part 7. Spiritual isolation. Perhaps the most silent, and at the same time the most distressing, of the signs of spiritual attack is isolation from the source. At some point, even people of intense faith feel completely distant from their guides, their mantras, their inner temples. What once brought peace now seems empty. Practices and rituals once full of meaning become mechanical. Meditation is invaded by distraction or emptiness. Prayer seems to reach nothing. You try to seek answers but feel the connection is gone, that God no longer listens and the guides have gone silent. This symptom, known in various traditions as the dark night of the soul, can be devastating, especially for those who have already traveled a long journey of faith. But it is also, paradoxically, one of the most powerful signs of inner transformation and spiritual growth. What is spiritual isolation? In the psychological world, we speak of existential crises, moments when old certainties crumble, meaning and purpose seem to disappear. In the spiritual world, isolation is seen as a necessary period in which the seeker is removed from external guidance to strengthen themselves internally. It's like the butterfly's cocoon. Without external contact, the process of internal transformation is accelerated, albeit painful. Classical authors such as St. John of the Cross, St. Teresa of Avila, Rumi, and even Jung describe this moment in the Journeys of the Inner Hero. In spiritualism, it is referred to as the spiritual desert, a phase in which obsessive beings amplify illusions of abandonment to weaken the individual's faith and resilience. Signs of spiritual isolation. Prayer and meditation no longer bring peace or answers. Feeling of loneliness even surrounded by people. lack of meaning in previously pleasurable activities and rituals, growing doubts about mission, faith, existence, and personal worth, deep sadness, apathy, desire to disconnect from everything, difficulty feeling gratitude, beauty, joy, even when contemplating that which was once a source of enchantment. Narratives of those who went through the dark night. Story 1, From Faith to Emptiness, Tiago, 33 years old. I always had faith, felt my guides nearby, dreamed of symbols and received signs. Until, suddenly, I lost my mother. Since the morning, nothing in the spiritual world made sense. I prayed, and it seemed like nothing more than noise in a vacuum. I tried to let go of everything. Only after months, on a day of great pain, did an old song touch me deeply while I was walking. I cried like never before. There I realized that, despite not feeling it, I was not alone. The emptiness was a fertile silence, preparing my heart. Story 2, The Desert and the Rebirth. Elisa, 51 years old. After several professional failures, I lost energy for rituals and withdrew from everything and everyone. It was only when I accepted silence without demanding answers that I had a strong intuition. Now, just trust and keep walking. I began to open myself to life again with simplicity, observing details and practicing small gestures of gratitude. The flow returned slowly but much more genuinely. The importance of the spiritual desert. In many traditions, isolation is a fundamental step toward purification and spiritual rebirth. Moses crossed the desert, Buddha sought silence under the fig tree, Jesus fasted for 40 days in the wilderness, and saints and monks often recount their time of trial. The very name, Masters of the Dark Night, was inspired by the poetic descriptions of St. John of the Cross. Don't run away from the desert. It is preparation for new strength, discernment, and humility. Every seed germinates in the darkness of the earth before seeing the light. How to break spiritual isolation. 1. Compassionate acceptance ***. Don't fight the void. Recognize it as a necessary cycle. Say to yourself, I am in transformation. Silence is part of my healing. 2. Small daily practices ***. Avoid long and complex practices during this period. Prioritize simple gestures. Lighting a candle, looking at the sky, giving thanks for a detail, listening to soft music. 3. Reconnecting with nature ***. Walk, touch a tree, watch the movement of the leaves, feel the wind and allow yourself to receive energy from the planet. 4. Creative expression ***. Write, draw, compose songs about your journey, even without artistic intent. The act of creating reconnects you with the spirit. 5. Seek support groups ***. Participate in collective prayers even virtually. Sharing vulnerability heals. You are not alone. 6. Practice active compassion ***. Offer small gestures of help to others even if virtual. Write supportive comments, send messages of gratitude, donate food or time. Meditation in the desert. 1. Sit or lie down comfortably, close your eyes. 2. Imagine yourself in a vast desert at dusk, everything silent, golden white sky. 3. Take a deep breath, feel the fresh air. 4. Imagine a small point of light appearing on the horizon. 5. Bring your attention to your heart and feel that point of light growing there, gently warming you. 6. Repeat mentally, even in the desert, light and water exist for those who do not give up. 7. Feel gratitude for the silence. Allow every void to be filled with subtle yet discreet love. 8. When you finish, give thanks. Everything passes. Faith remains. Inspirational quotes. In absolute desert, God is undoubtedly most present. Fyodor Dostoevsky. Silence is the altar of the spirit. Paramahansa Yogananda. The void is fertile, every dark night prepares a dawn. Rumi. Psychology, spirituality and healing. Don't confuse spiritual isolation with prolonged depression. Seek help if necessary. Spirituality and mental health can go hand in hand. Chat. Share experiences with other seekers even in online groups. Sharing reduces burden and increases hope. Look for synchronicities. They often show signs that the flow is returning slowly, but with more truth. Spiritual restart ritual. 1. Choose a special day, dress comfortably. 2. Write down on a piece of paper everything you want to release. Hurts, frustrated expectations, doubts. 3. In silence, Give thanks for the road you have traveled, in the victories and in the emptiness. 4. Burn this paper safely, and as you observe the smoke, imagine it rising into the universe. 5. Light a white candle, close your eyes and say, I accept this dark night. I know it prepares my soul for the dawn. I trust in the wisdom of silence, I trust in rebirth. Have you ever experienced a period of falling away from your faith? How did you get through it? Share your story in the comments with the hashtag #Renascendo. It might be the encouragement someone needs. Mark in the comments practices or songs that reconnected you, no matter how simple they were. Mythology, folklore, and popular culture. Indigenous people perform solitary rituals in the forest to transform boys into warriors of the spirit. In African culture, it is resguardo, a mandatory time of retreat to heal, learn, and strengthen one's own energy. Conclusion of Part 7. Spiritual isolation is never absolute or definitive. The spiritual universe observes and welcomes you, even if you can't feel it. This dark night of the soul heralds a new cycle of wisdom, humility, and strength. Honor the silence, accept the void, trust your own brilliance. The connection exists and will soon be felt again, deeper, clearer. Comment, I am reborn in the light, if you have been through, are currently experiencing, or want to help someone going through the spiritual desert. Share, inspire, and strengthen the current of hope. You are the dawn in someone's life, even when you can't see the sun.